Hey there, class. Mr. Posky here. Hope you're having a good day so far. We are doing 2.3 today, which is subtraction of real numbers. Our central question is, how do we subtract real numbers? So yesterday we did addition, or the day before we did addition. Now we're doing subtraction. All kinds of fun stuff going on, all right? So we have a warm-up. Go ahead and do the warm-up. It's 5 plus negative 2 and 5 minus 2. See what you get for your answers for that. All right, welcome back. So what is 5 plus negative 2 going to be? Well, remember, if we add numbers with different signs, we're going to subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. What's the sign going to be? Is it going to be positive or negative? Well, 5 is bigger and 5 is positive, so we're going to have positive 3. So 3 is our answer. And then what is 5 minus 2? That's a little bit easier. What's 5 minus 2? That's going to be also 3. That's interesting. So it looks like adding negative 2 and subtracting 2 was the same exact thing. We'll come back to that later. All right, subtracting real numbers, critical thinking. It says looking at the warm-up. Actually, I'll use red. Let's keep red. Looking at the warm-up, we can say that subtracting is the same thing as blank the blank of a number. So 5 minus 2 was the same thing as 5 plus negative 2. So looks like instead of subtracting, we added. And then what's the relationship between 2 and negative 2? What kind of numbers are those? Those are opposites, right? So subtracting is the same thing as adding the opposite of a number. All right? Subtracting is the same thing as adding the opposite of a number. That's kind of a shortcut. It is easier to add numbers than to subtract, so we will use the either chop method or the chop slash method. Chop or chop slash to turn subtraction problems into addition problems. Okay? So chops are going to be vertical or up and down. And slashes are going to be horizontal or left and right. Okay? So we're going to do both methods here, and then we'll get into some actual problems where you'll try it on your own, all right? So, chop, subtracting a negative. It's also, remember, the same thing as change the sign, add a line. Okay, so if you're comfortable with change the sign, add a line, just stick with that. That's totally cool, but this is a chop method. So we're doing negative 15 minus negative 9. So that's the same thing as adding the opposite, or chop. We take the subtraction becomes addition, and then the negative becomes the positive. So this is the same thing. Negative 15 minus negative 9 is the same thing as negative 15 plus 9. Minus a negative is the same thing as plus a positive. Okay? And now we're adding. Now we know how to do adding from 2.2, which is excellent. So we're adding numbers with different signs. Are we going to add or subtract in our brains? We're going to subtract 15 minus 9. And what is 15 minus 9 going to be? That's going to be 6. And then what's our final answer? Which number is bigger, 15 or 9? And what's the sign on the 15? The 15 is negative, so it's going to be negative 6 is our final answer. Okay? So another chop method. We have 2 minus negative 5. Minus a negative is the same thing as plus a positive. Chop. We have 2 plus 5 instead of 2 minus negative 5. That one's the easy one. What's 2 plus 5 going to be? That's just going to be 7. Okay, so when you minus a negative, chop, or change the sign, add a line, and make it a plus a positive. Now let's talk about the chop slash method. This is a little bit different. Chop slash. Remember, chops are vertical, slashes are horizontal. Okay, this one we're subtracting a positive number. We have 17 minus 20, minus positive 20. So we're going to do, we're going to change subtraction to addition, and we're going to change the positive 20 into a negative 20. Okay, so this is chop slash, or change the sign, add a line. So now we have 17 plus negative 20. Okay, 17 plus negative 20. We know how to add. Subtracting is a little bit trickier. Some of you might be good. Some of you might be able to do 17 minus 20 in your brain and just kind of figure it out. But this is for people that really kind of like, it's kind of helpful to have the chop or chop slash method, or the change the sign, add a line method, okay? But pretty soon, when we get to like solving equations and stuff, you're going to kind of have to know like what 4 minus 8 is, which is negative 4. But this will kind of help us get there in the process, okay? So 17 plus negative 20, same signs or different signs? They are different signs. So are we going to add or subtract in our brain? We're going to subtract. 20 minus 17 is going to equal what? 3. Now, which number is bigger? Is 20 bigger or 17 bigger? 20 is bigger, so it means it's going to be more negative at the end, which means it's going to be -3 is our final answer. Okay? Ooh, we got a tricky one here. We got 1/7 minus 5/7. We are subtracting fractions. So, when adding up or taking away fractions, don't be a hater. Bottom numbers have to be the same common denominator. So we have a common denominator here. So we're just going to add the top to keep the denominators the same. Okay, so we're going to do chop slash, that is. We're doing, instead of minus a positive, we're going to do plus a negative. So we're going to get 1/7 plus -5/7. Okay? And now we're just going to add the top, so we don't need to worry about the bottoms right now. Okay, so we're going to do 1 plus -5. We have different signs, so we're going to subtract. 5 minus 1 is going to equal 4. So our final answer is going to be +4 or -4. Well, 5 is more negative than 1, so we're going to have a -4/7. And there's our final answer for that one. Okay, I'm going to zoom out a little bit for these ones. Go ahead and try 1 through 6. Choose your own adventure to solve at least 3 of these. I would try all of them if I were you, because you guys are working from home, but if you just want to follow along for a couple of them, that's fine. But choose your own adventure, try 3 of these problems. All right, welcome back. Let's do it. We have -11 minus 1, that is. No, -11 minus -1. Are we doing chop or chop slash? We're doing chop. So we're going to get, for our answer, it's going to be -11 plus 1. And then we're adding numbers with different signs, so we're going to subtract. So we got 11 minus 1, which equals 10. And then is it going to be +10 or -10? Is 11 bigger or 1 is bigger? 11 is bigger, so it's going to be more negative, so it's going to be -10 is our final answer for this one. All right, -12 minus 9. We are subtracting a positive, so we're going to do chop slash. We're going to add a negative, that is. -12 plus -9. Now, are we adding numbers with same signs or different signs? These are same signs, so we're going to add them up. 12 plus 9 equals what? It equals 21. And our answer is going to be positive or negative. We're taking a negative, we're adding more negatives, so it's going to end up being negative. We're going to get -21. Okay, hopefully you did good in those first 2. 3 and 4. Number 3, we have 6 minus -3. Is this chop or chop slash? This is chop, or change the sign, add a line. We are subtracting a negative, same thing as adding a positive. So we're going to have 6 plus 3, and that's an easy one to solve. We don't need to do any kind of fancy stuff with that. What's 6 plus 3 going to be? It's going to be 9. All right, 1 minus 4. We're doing 1 minus a positive, so we're going to do chop or chop slash. Chop slash. We have 1 plus -4. Same signs or different signs that we're adding here? They're different signs. We're going to subtract. 4 minus 1 equals 3, right? And which number? It's going to end up being positive or negative at the end? Well, 4 is more negative than 1 is, so that means we're going to have a -3 for an answer. Oops, that's a bad 3. Okay, 2 more for this part. We have 4/9 minus 3/9. Minus -3/9, that is. I keep goofing it up. Sorry about that. So 4/9 minus -3/9. We're going to do chop or chop slash. We're going to do chop. So we're going to do 4/9 plus 3/9. Minus a negative, same thing as plus a positive. This is a nice one. We have 2 positives on top, so 4 plus 3 is what? It is 7. Divide by 9. Keep the denominator the same when you're adding fractions. All right, last one's a little tricky. We have -5 minus 6 minus -8. So we're going to do a couple things here. We have -6. If we have minus a positive, we're going to do chop slash. And then we have -6 minus -8. That's going to be chop. So our new answer, or our new problem is going to be -5 plus -6 plus 8. Okay, I'm going to do kind of a shortcut now. We're not going to do the kind of stuff we've been doing. We're going to kind of get into a groove here. What's -5 plus -6 going to be? That's going to be -11 plus 8. And -11 plus 8, we're going to subtract in our brain. We're going to get 3, and it's going to end up being a -3. Okay, last part of the lesson for today. So we have terms of an expression. It says the parts that are going to be blank by a blank or blank are the terms of an expression. Okay, so if you have an expression, which is just like a combination of variables or letters and numbers and signs, the parts that are separated, that are what? Separated by an addition or subtraction sign are the terms of an expression. Okay? And to make it easier to see what the terms are, we're going to change the problem to a sum. And what operation was a sum? Sum was addition. So we're going to change it to addition to make it easier. Okay? It sounds a lot more complex than it actually is. It's really not too bad. So stick with me here, okay? We have negative 3x minus negative 8y and minus 12. We're going to do the chop, chop, or chop, slash. So we have negative 3x minus negative 8y. It's going to be chop, chop. And then minus 12 is going to be chop, slash. So our new equation is going to be, our new expression that is, negative 3x plus 8y plus negative 12. Okay? Because the terms are going to be everything separated around and between the addition symbols here. So we're going to go like this. We're going to draw little walls here. So draw walls kind of above the little vertical line of the addition symbols. Now everything around and between those are going to be the terms. So what are the terms, you guys think? Negative 3x is the first term, right? That's this part right here. What's in the middle there? We have 8y is the middle term. And we have negative 12 is the last term. So those are the terms of an expression. Everything's separated by an addition symbol or a subtraction symbol, but you want to change it to addition to make it easier to see. Why don't you guys try the last example on your own and see how you do. All right, we got 12 minus 4t minus negative 6m, and we're going to look for the terms. We got to change it to addition first, so minus 4t becomes chop, slash, plus a negative, and then 4t minus negative 6m is going to be chop, chop. So we're going to have 12 plus negative 4t plus 6m. Now we draw our little walls above and below the addition symbol so we know what the terms are. So we have 12, we have negative 4t, and we have 6m. How did you do? Did you get that one? All right, cool. So that's how you find terms. Terms are everything separated by addition or subtraction, but we change it to addition to make it easier to work with, and hopefully that wasn't too bad. And that is the lesson for today. So thank you for sticking around, for learning how to subtract real numbers, and we will have a quiz coming up on 2.1 through 2.3. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you soon.